nunca. Di Maria, Di Maria, Di Maria. Whoa. We ought to be ashamed, cause we fell from so high above. The pussy in the Carolina was so wicked. Charleston gotta feel our pain. Same attitude from which we came. Palm trees about the same, but my kin don't remember their name. Yahako, Yashurun, the children of Jerusalem. Jerusalem in your Bible, the throne of Yah. Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters all over the world. I'm Yahuda ben Israel. I'm I'm a servant of the Most High Yahweh, was came here to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So now today's topic is, can a man have more than one wife? That's what we're gonna talk about. The men of the Bible, you know, because I was always taught by the Christians that a man supposed to only have one wife and that's it and that's all. Now I'm gonna prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that Yahweh never got mad at a man for having more than one wife, and it was never a sin. So, well, I'm gonna start off in the book of Genesis, Genesis 4, Genesis chapter 4, verse 19.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 19. And Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The name of the one was Adah, and the name of the other Zillah.
Now, how many wives?
2.
Okay, this guy had 2 wives. Now, this is in the book of Genesis. This in the Torah. This in the Old Testament in the Torah. Now, let's go to Genesis 30th chapter. The Christians in the churches that teach you that a man only supposed to have one wife. We're going to see what the book say today. 30 and 1.
Genesis chapter 30, verse 1. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister, and said unto Jacob, Give me children, or else I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, Am I in Elohim's stead, who hath withheld from thee the fruit of the womb?
In other words, I don't control the womb. I can't make no baby. Only the Most High is the one that let a woman conceive a baby. He does it. Y'all do it. Read.
And she said, Behold my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees.
Now this woman told her husband to have sex with this other woman because she was barren and couldn't have no babies at the time.
That I may also have children by her. And she gave him Bilhah her handmaid to wife, and Jacob went in unto her.
Jacob had sex with this woman, and watch what happened.
And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son.
And he had a son.
And Rachel said, Elohim have judged me, and have also heard my voice, and have given me a son.
See, the kids come from Yah.
Therefore called she his name Dan. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, With great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife.
Okay, read.
And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, A troop cometh, and she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. And Leah said, Happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest, and found mandrakes in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, Give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, Is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? And wouldest thou also take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him, and said, Thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night. And Elohim hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived, and bare Jacob the fifth son.
Now you notice the Almighty giving this man all these sons between all these women. The Almighty ain't got mad and said nothing about a man can't have more than one wife or one woman. Read.
And Leah said, Elohim have given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband.
This woman gave her maidservant to her husband.
And she called his name Issachar. And Leah conceived again, and bare Jacob the sixth son.
This man had 6 sons by 4 different women.
And Leah said, Elohim endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. And afterwards she bare a daughter, and called her name Dinah.
Mm-hmm.
And Elohim remembered Rachel, and Elohim hearkened to her, and opened her womb.
I mean, yeah, okay. That was he had 6 sons by the first wife, and now he finna have some more kids by the second one. Read.
And she conceived, and bare a son, and said, Elohim have taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, and said, Yahweh shall add to me another son. And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, Send me away, that I may go unto my own place, into my country. Give me my wives.
Now, what that 26 say?
Give me my wives
More than one.
and my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go, for thou knowest my service which I have done thee.
Okay, that's it on that. Now, let's go to Genesis 16. Still talking about a man can have more than one wife. And the Almighty ain't got mad yet. Okay, what I say, 16, we'll start at the first verse.
Genesis chapter 16, verse 1. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children,
Now, his wife couldn't have no children at the time.
and she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar.
Now, her handmaid name was Hagar.
And Sarai said unto Abram,
Now, Sarah said it to her husband, Abram.
Behold now, Yahweh have restrained me from bearing.
He stopped me from having kids.
I pray thee, go in unto my maid.
This woman gave her maid to her husband. You will never hear it. They ain't gonna do that today. They ain't gonna do nothing like that today. But this woman was a holy woman, and she feared Yah. Read.
It may be that I may obtain children by her.
By her.
And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai.
And he listened to his wife.
And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife.
She gave another man, a woman, to be his wife. So now he got 2 wives. The book talking. Read.
And he went in unto her.
He went into her, meaning he had sex with her.
And she conceived.
She got pregnant.
And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes.
Now the mistress and got jealous. She despised. Let's look up that word despise. Because that's what these women do now. They get a little jealous.
Despised, to dislike strongly and feel scorn for.
Okay, so she disliked it. The word despise means dislike her. She didn't got pregnant now.
And Sarai said unto Abram, My wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes.
Yeah, in other words, right. Okay, but I just wanted to prove a point that there's no sin for a man to have more than one wife. Okay, let's go to Genesis 36. Now this is in the book of Genesis where all these men had these different wives. Let's see, 36 and let's see, start 36 and 2.
Genesis chapter 36, verse 2. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite, and Bashemeth, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebajoth. And Adah bare to Esau Eliphaz, and Bashemath bare Reuel, and Aholibamah bare Jeush, and Jaalam, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau, which were born unto him in the land of Canaan.
See, Esau and Jacob were brothers. Esau and Jacob were brothers. Read.
And Esau took his wives, and his sons, and his daughters, and all the persons of his house, and his cattle, and all his beasts, and all his substance, which he had got in the land of Canaan.
Okay, that's all I wanted to do. Now let's go to Isaiah. Still in the Old Testament. And I want somebody out there to show me where it's a sin for a man to have more than one wife. I know the women don't want to hear this, but I got to tell you the whole truth and nothing but the truth. The Almighty ain't never got mad at no man for having more than one wife. I'm going to let the book talk. Go to Isaiah chapter 4. This corn right here. Start the first verse.
Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man.
How many women?
7.
7. When we get back to Jerusalem, Israel, the land, we're going to have 7 women. That's what the book say. Now read that again. I didn't say it. The book said it.
And in that day,
and in that day,
7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread.
We're going to eat our own bread. We ain't going to go to Walmart no more.
And wear our own apparel.
And we're going to be making our own clothes. We ain't going to have to go to the mall or Sears no more.
Only let us be called by thy name.
Only let us be called by our husband's name. The last name Israel. These 7 women going to be glad to do this. They're going to be glad to eat their own food, wear their own clothes, and have one husband. And we're going to be glad our name Israel. Read.
To take away our reproach.
To take away our reproach. Read.
And that day shall the branch of Yahweh be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel.
That's right.
And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion, and he that remaineth in Jerusalem, shall be called holy, even everyone that is written among the living in Jerusalem.
See, all this is going to happen in Jerusalem, not United States of America, only in the Holy Land when we get back home. Read.
When Yahweh shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion.
Right now we filthy.
And shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. And Yahweh would create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion and upon her assemblies a cloud and smoke by day, and the shining of a flaming fire by night. And upon all the glory shall be a defense. And there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime from the heat, and for a place of refuge, and for a cover from storm and from rain.
Okay, now let's go to 1 Kings. 1 Kings, the 11th chapter. Yeah. Now this is where the sin come in at. Let me show y'all where the sin come in at. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 1 Kings, the 11th chapter, the first verse.
1 Kings chapter 11, verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women.
See, it's a sin to love many strange, to love a strange woman. Period. A strange woman is not an Israelite. So it's talking about a Chinese, a Mexican, a Puerto Rican, or a Gentile woman. It's talking about them. That's where the sin come in there. Now watch this. I'm going to prove to you beyond a shadow of a doubt. This is a sin to go out your race. It ain't a sin to have more than one wife. It's a sin to have white, black, all them other different kind of races. That's the sin. Okay, read.
Together with the daughter of Pharaoh,
Pharaoh.
women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites,
Right.
of the nations concerning which Yahweh said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them.
See, you ain't supposed to date out your race. You ain't supposed to have all these strange women. That's where the sin come in. It ain't a sin to have 2 or 3 wives. It's a sin to have 2 or 3 white women.
Neither shall they come in unto you.
You ain't supposed to go into them, and they ain't supposed to come into you.
For surely they will turn away your heart after other gods.
And the reason why the Most High don't want you dating out your race, because they gonna go out. You gonna change gods on them. You gonna go from Yahweh to JC. That's what you're gonna do. Okay, now finish read.
Solomon clave unto these in love.
He loved. King Solomon loved these strange women. He was a king now, a black king that loved these strange women. Read.
And he had 700 wives.
This man had 700 wives,
princesses, and 300 concubines.
And 300 concubines.
And his wives turned away his heart.
His wives turned away his heart because them women that he was dating was hollering Allah, Buddha, and all these other strange gods. See, that's where the sin come in there. The sin is not a man having more than one wife. The sin is when you go out and date these other races, get married to these other races, or go with these other races. Okay, read.
For it came to pass when Solomon was old,
and when King Solomon got old,
that his wives turned away his heart after other gods.
See, these women gonna change these men. These men gonna become weak to a white woman. They gonna bow down to a white woman. They gonna start going to church and hollering up on JC. As soon as they marry one, they gonna put a cross on. And that's the same thing King Solomon did.
And his heart was not perfect with Yahweh his Elohim.
And his heart was not perfect because he changed. In the beginning, his heart was perfect, and then the end it changed because he got with these strange women, these white women, and turned his heart away. That's when the Most High don't want you going out your race, because you're going to turn your back on Yah.
As was the heart of David his father. For Solomon went after false deity, the goddess of the Zidonians.
See, he went after false deities.
And after false deity, the abomination of the Ammonites. And Solomon did evil in the sight of Yahweh.
Okay, now what was this evil? The evil was when he went out and dated them strange women. The evil one when he had 700 wives. They were 700 black women and 300 concubines black. It would have been all right. But the sin was when he went out his race and dated them other women. Read that again.
And Solomon did evil in the sight of Yahweh.
That's right.
And went not fully after Yahweh, as did David his father. Then did Solomon build a high place for...
He started building church houses for
him. False deity, the abomination of Moab.
That's right.
And the hill that is between Jerusalem. And for false deity, the abomination of the children of Ammon.
Okay, that's it. So I just wanted to prove a point on that. Okay, go to Deuteronomy 21. Almighty don't want you going out your race. You're gonna go get you 4 or 5 wives. Make sure they all black. Cause they ain't, then Almighty gonna be mad at you. Deuteronomy 21:15.
Deuteronomy chapter 21 verse 15. If a man have 2 wives.
Now in the Torah, the Old Testament say if a man have, meaning if you want it, but it's not mandatory to have more than one wife. But if, read.
One beloved and another hated.
He gonna love one more than he do the other one.
And they have borne him children.
And both of them got children.
Both the beloved and the hated.
The one that he loved more than the other one.
And if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be, when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn.
That's right, because your firstborn is your chosen. The Almighty, the firstborn is over the second son. Every time you had your first child by any woman, by any black woman, is the one in the Almighty eyes. Read.
But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn, by giving him a double portion of all that he hath, for he is the beginning of his strength.
See, your firstborn child is the beginning of your strength. And he the one got the blessing coming. He the one you're supposed to leave your land to, and your car, your house to. Even though you love the first wife over the second one, but the second one had your first son. So that's what this saying. You be fair about it. Okay. Okay, that's 17.
Yeah. The right of the firstborn is his.
Okay then. Yeah. Now let's go to Judges 8. Judges chapter 8. 8 and 30.
Judges chapter 8 verse 30. And Gideon had 70 sons of his body begotten, for he had many wives.
So he had 70 sons. But Gideon had 70 sons by many wives. By many wives, boy, the book popping. Okay, let's go to 1 Samuel. All through this book, these men had more than one wife, and the Almighty ain't got mad at them. He ain't mad at you for having more than one wife. He mad at you for going out your race. 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 1.
Common sense mess up the inheritance.
Right. 1 Samuel 1 and 2.
1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 2. And he had 2 wives. The name of the one was Hannah, and the name of the other Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. And this man went up out of his...
I just wanted to prove, we ain't got to get off into the story, but I just wanted to prove, come on, finish reading something, because this is going to get good. Yeah.
And this man went up out of his city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto Yahweh of hosts in Shiloh. And the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of Yahweh, were there. And when the time was that Elkanah offered, he gave to Peninnah his wife, and to all her sons and her daughters portions. But unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah, but Yahweh has shut up her womb.
See, the Almighty closed the womb up for a reason. Okay, well, let's go to 25 and 43. 1 Samuel 25. 1 Samuel 25, 43, I think. Yeah.
1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 43. David also took Ahinoam of Jezreel, and they were also both of them his wives.
That's right, both of them. See, David had many wives too. Okay, let's go to 30 and 5. 1 Samuel 30 and 5.
1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 5. And David's 2 wives were taken captives, Ahinoam the Jezreelitess, and Abigail the wife of Nabal the Carmelite.
Okay, all right. Let's go to 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel 5. 5 and 13.
2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 13. And David took him more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem after he was come from Hebron, and there were yet sons and daughters born to David. And these be the names of those that were born unto him in Jerusalem: Shamuah, and Shobab, and Nathan, and Solomon, Edpar also, and Elishua, and Nepeg, and Japhia, and Elishama, and Eliada, and Eliphalet. But when the Philistines heard that they had anointed David king over Israel, all the Philistines came up to seek David, and David heard of it and went down to the hold.
In other words, I just wanted to prove that David had these wives and had all these sons and daughters by these different wives. Okay, let's go to First Chronicles. First Chronicles 4 and 5.
First Chronicles chapter 4 verse 5. And Asher the father of Tekoa had two wives, Helah and Naarah.
They had two wives. Okay, let's go to 7 and 4. First Chronicles 7 and 4.
First Chronicles chapter 7 verse 4. And with them by their generations after the house of their fathers were bands of soldiers for war, 630,000 men, for they had many wives and sons.
And many wives and sons. 8 and 8. All through this book, I can go all day, a whole month, talking about all through the book where a man can have more than one wife. 8 and 8.
First Chronicles chapter 8 verse 8. And Shaharaim begat children in the country of Moab after he had sent them away. Hushim and Baara were his wives.
That's right. So this man had two wives. 14 and 3. First Chronicles 14 and 3.
First Chronicles chapter 14 verse 3. And David took more wives at Jerusalem, and David begat more sons and daughters.
Yeah, he took more wives. Okay. Let's go to Second Chronicles. Second Chronicles chapter 11, I think. Yeah. 11 and 21.
Second Chronicles chapter 11 verse 21. And Rehoboam loved Maacah, the daughter of Absalom, above all his wives and his concubines.
Above all his wives and concubines. Read.
For he took 18 wives.
This man had 18 wives.
And 60 concubines.
And 60 concubines, so that'd have been 60 concubines.
And
60, that's 60.
And begat 28 sons and 60 daughters.
He had 60 daughters and 28 sons.
And
Rick, go ahead. You good.
And Rehoboam made Abijah the son of Maachah the chief to be ruler among his brethren, for he thought to make him king. And he dealt wisely and dispersed of all his children throughout all the countries of Judah and Benjamin unto every fenced city, and he gave them victual in abundance, and he desired many wives.
He desired many wives. Okay, let's go to 24. Second Chronicles 24 and 1. 24 and 1. Yeah.
Second Chronicles chapter 24 verse 1. Joash was 7 years old when he began to reign.
Did y'all know that? It was a 7-year-old king. I ain't never heard that before. Yeah, this guy was 7 years old. He was a king. That's right. The book said it. Read it again.
Joash was 7 years old when he began to reign.
When he began to reign.
And he reigned 40 years in Jerusalem.
He reigned 40 years in Jerusalem.
His mother's name was Zibiah of Beersheba. And Joash did that which was right in the sight of Yahweh all the days of Jehoiada the priest.
And all the days of Jehoiada the priest, he did right in the eyes of Yah.
And Jehoiada took for him 2 wives, and he begat sons and daughters.
Okay, he took 2 wives and had sons and daughters. That's all I wanted. Okay, let's go to 13. Second Chronicles 13 and 21. 13 13 or 21. Yes.
Second Chronicles chapter 13, verse 21. And Abijah waxed mighty and married 14 wives.
He married 14 wives. This man had, what was his name? Abijah? Read that again.
And Abijah waxed mighty and married 14 wives, and begat 22 sons and 16 daughters.
That's right. Read.
And the rest of the acts of Abijah and his ways and his sayings are written in the story of the prophet Iddu.
Okay. Now, I'm going to prove to you that a man supposed to rule his house. A woman ain't supposed to run the show. The man supposed to run it. If he a real man. Let's go to Genesis 3:16. Ain't but one boss in the house, and that's the man. Let's see what the book say. Genesis 3:16. That's here.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception.
Now this is the Most High telling Eve she gonna have babies, and when she have babies, she gonna be hollering in pain and crying.
In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children.
And when you having a baby, you gonna be sorry for bringing forth children because you're gonna be in pain.
And thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
This is a command from Yah. He told the woman what's gonna happen. The man supposed to rule over you. Now read that again.
Unto the woman he said,
And to the woman he said,
I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
that's right. Woman ain't got no business ruling over no man. The man supposed to rule. Let's go to Esther. Esther 1, started at 20. Esther chapter 1, verse 20.
Esther chapter 1, verse 20. And when the king's decree which he shall make shall be published throughout all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both to great and small. And the saying pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Memucan. For he sent letters into all the king's provinces, into every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house,
Every man should rule in his own house.
and that it should be published according to the language of every people.
Right. I just wanted to prove a point that the man is the head. It's Yahweh first, the man second, the woman third, and the kids last. Because if the man getting it from Yah, and I'm telling the wife or the woman, girlfriend, whatever you get out there, and then she supposed to train the kids up. So that's how it go in order. That's the pecking order. I get it from Yah, give it to the wife, and the wife give it to the kids. And you ain't gonna make no mistake that way, because it come from Yah. Everything start with Yah first. Okay. Now I'm this with the Most High. Now this is the sin that the Most High didn't want us to do. Go to Deuteronomy 7. Deuteronomy 7. Start at the first verse.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1. When Yahweh thy Elohim shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it,
Now when you go to a land to possess it,
and have cast out many nations before thee,
and there's going to be many nations there.
the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when Yahweh thy Elohim shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them, and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor no, nor show mercy unto them, neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
See, the Most High don't want us marrying these people. The book talking. I ain't read where he say don't have more than one wife. I read where he say don't go out your race. Read.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son,
Don't give your sons and daughters to these white folks, or Chinese folks, or Puerto Rican folks, whoever they is.
nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
That's right. And don't let your daughter marry their son.
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
Yeah, because they gonna be Catholics and Presbyterians, Jehovah's Witnesses. You gonna fall out to them. You gonna forget about Yah and go to Christianity.
That they may serve other gods.
That's right, cause when all races on earth got their own God. The Hebrews got the true and living, and I'm gonna prove that every nation on this earth got a different God.
So will the anger of Yahweh be kindled against you,
That's right.
and destroy thee suddenly.
He gonna destroy you with the quickness, suddenly.
But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire.
That's right. Read.
For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy Elohim.
And we are holy people. We are the chosen people of Yah. Read.
Yahweh thy Elohim have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself,
To himself.
above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Now, what do the word all mean? That means above everybody. Above all the people on earth. Read.
Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people.
The Hebrews were the fewest of all people.
But because Yahweh loved you,
He loved the Israelites, the Hebrew people.
and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn to your fathers, hath Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt. Know therefore that Yahweh the Elohim, he is Elohim, the faithful Elohim, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him, and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations.
To 1,000 generations. Read.
And repayeth them that hate him to their face.
Because when you don't keep the Most High commandment, you hate him. And he going to repay you to your face.
To destroy them.
And he going to destroy them.
He will not be slack to him that hated him.
He ain't going to be slack to the one that hate him. Because if you don't keep his commandments, you hate Yah. I don't care how you talk about you love God. And no, you don't love him, you hate him. That's what the book's saying. Read.
He will repay him to his face.
He going to pay you back to your face.
Thou shalt therefore keep the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which I command thee this day.
And ain't now one of his commandments and statutes say a man can't have more than one wife. I ain't read that yet. But I done read where he can. Okay, let's go to Nehemiah. Nehemiah chapter 13. Nehemiah 13 and 23.
Nehemiah chapter 13 verse 23. In those days also saw I Jews that had married wives of
Ashdod. Yeah.
Okay, of Ammon and of Moab.
Okay, now the Jews married these strange wives. Now watch this.
I think that's a false deity. And their children spake half in the speech of false deity, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them.
Now why did he curse them and smoke them? Because they went out their race, seeing the go out your race. Read.
And plucked off their hair, and made them swear by Elohim, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto your sons.
Read.
Nor take their daughters unto your sons.
That's right.
Or for yourselves. Did not Solomon king of Israel sin by these things?
See, it's a sin to go out your race. The book popping. It ain't a sin to have more than one wife. It's a sin to go out your race. Now read that 26 again.
Did not Solomon king of Israel sin by these things?
That's right. Read.
Yet among many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved of his Elohim, And Elohim made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin.
Cause to sin, because when you go out your race, you sin it. But you can have more than one wife. Read.
Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil,
This is a great evil.
to transgress against our Elohim and marrying strange wives?
That's right. That's corn right there. The book just told you. It's a sin and it's strange to go out to another race of people. You ain't supposed to do that. But it's not a sin to have more than one wife, more than one concubine, more than one girlfriend. You can do all that. Okay, let's go to Proverbs. Proverbs 5. Okay. Proverbs. Proverbs 5 and 1.
Proverbs chapter 5 verse 1. My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb,
Drop as a honeycomb.
and her mouth is smoother than oil.
Say the Gentile woman mouth smooth or she, hey baby, how you doing? Let me rub your back. Let me just talking all nice and humble. That's why the Gentile woman is. She real crafty and sneaky and know how to get up to a man. Read.
But her end is bitter as wormwood,
That's right.
sharp as a two-edged sword.
Sharp as a two-edged sword. This woman slick as oil, slick as a can of oil. Read.
Her feet go down to death.
If you mess with this woman, you going to hell, going down to death.
Her steps take hold on hell.
Going to hell for going out your race. Mess with this Gentile woman. Read.
Lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life. Her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them.
She slick, boy. She everywhere. She moving and you don't know what's going on. You think she at work, she in the hotel.
Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth.
That's right.
Remove thy way far from her.
Get away from this Gentile woman, because the Most High get mad at y'all out there with them white women.
Come not nigh the door of her house.
Don't go to her house.
Lest thou give thy honor unto others,
Unless you're going to get your honor to her, because you're going to leave your inheritance into the Gentiles instead of the Hebrews.
and thy years unto the cruel.
And years to the cruel.
Lest strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labors be in the house of a stranger.
That's right.
And thou mourn at the last, when thy flesh and thy body are consumed. And say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof.
Till you hate the instruction when your parents trying to teach you to stay in your own red. See, this is not prejudice. This is just the way of Yah. That Yah wants you to stay in your red. You never seen a black bear with a white bear. You never seen a hawk with an eagle. You never seen a goldfish with a guppy. You never seen a catfish with a buffalo. You don't see that. And you never seen a leopard with a lion. The animals don't integrate. You ain't supposed to do that. The Almighty got a system that He want everything to go out His own kind and out His own race. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what's make it right. But when you go the opposite of that, that's wrong. I don't care what you do. The Almighty mad at you. You can do what you want to do, but I can't sugarcoat it for you. I got to give it to you 100% in the raw. Read.
And have now obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor incline my ear to them that instructed me.
See, the people that's trying to teach you the law, teach you the statutes and stuff, you don't want to hear what they got to say. Well, I'm doing me. I'm going to live the way I want to live. Okay, well, go on to hell then. Because I'm going to prove to you that you're going to hell. Read.
I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. Drink waters out of thy own cistern,
Drink water out of your own cistern.
and running waters out of thy own well.
Means just go with your own kind.
Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets.
Right?
Let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee.
Get your own black woman and don't get no stranger. Read.
Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth.
When you're young, you get your wife.
Let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe.
Y'all have fun together.
Let her breast satisfy thee at all times.
Her breasts is her titties. Suck on them. That's what the book say. Caress them.
and be thou ravished always with her love.
With her love, not the Gentile, the white folk love, but your black woman love. Read.
And why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman,
Man, why you gonna go out there and get you a Gentile woman? Why is you gonna do that? Look at that pretty black girl over there. Read.
and embrace the bosom of a stranger?
And marrying the breast of a strange woman. When we got all these beautiful black Hebrew, black Israelite women in the world, and you gonna choose a white woman, you's a fool. But we the only race to do that. White and black race are the only one. Chinese don't do that. The Mexican, Puerto Rico, everybody stay in their own race, but a nigga and a white man.
For the ways of man are before the eyes of Yahweh,
That's right.
and he pondereth all his goings.
Mm-hmm.
His own iniquity shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sins. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray.
Okay, now let me prove that you're going to hell when you forget about tomorrow. That's in I think Psalms. Yeah, Psalms. I think Psalms 9. Let me go there. Psalm chapter 9. Let me try that right quick. It's 9. Or is it 7? Let's see. Let's see. Chapter 9. Let me see this other guy. Oh yeah, 9 and 17. Go to Genesis 9 and 17. I mean Psalms. Psalm chapter 9.
Psalms chapter 9, verse 17. The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget Elohim.
So all the nations that forget Yah going to hell. That's what the book said. Now let me prove that everybody got a different God. I think there's some kings. Okay. I think that's King 17. Let me see which one it is though. It's got to be 2 Kings. Yeah, 2 Kings, the 17th chapter. Let's see. Okay, and I wanna okay, yeah, 17. Let's start at the 33.
2 Kings chapter 17, verse 33.
Yeah.
They feared Yahweh and served their own gods,
Their own gods,
after the manner of the nations whom they carried away from thence.
because every nation on earth got a different God. We the only one got the true and living. Everybody else got imposters and paganism and phoningism. Fake gods. Read.
Unto this day they do after the former manners. They fear not Yahweh, neither do they after their statutes and after their ordinances, or after the law and commandment which Yahweh commanded the children of Jacob, whom he named Israel, with whom Yahweh had made a covenant and charged them, saying, Ye shall not fear other gods,
You ain't supposed to fear these other nation gods.
nor bow yourselves to
And
them,
you ain't supposed to bow down to no other God but Yah.
nor serve them,
Nor serve them.
nor sacrifice to them.
And you ain't supposed to do no sacrifice to these other gods.
But Yahweh, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt with great power and a stretched out arm, him shall ye fear, and him shall ye worship, and to him shall ye do sacrifice.
That's right.
And the statutes and the ordinances and the law and the commandment which he wrote for you, ye shall observe to do forevermore, and ye shall not fear other gods.
So JC is another God. These white folks' God is JC. That's another God. You ain't supposed to fear him. Read.
And the covenant that I have made with you, ye shall not forget.
And he ain't never made no covenant with us and told us to go out our race and all this old junk, this old mess.
Neither shall ye fear other gods,
Don't fear JC.
but Yahweh your Elohim ye shall fear,
We should fear Yahweh.
and he shall deliver you out of the hand of all your enemies.
That's right. If you serve Yah, he gonna deliver you from all your enemies. But you gotta serve him only. You can't be talking about no Hamashiach Yahshua and that JC mess. That's junk. Read.
Howbeit they did not hearken,
They ain't gonna listen.
but they did after their former
They
manner.
did just like the rest of the people.
So these nations feared Yahweh,
These nations with the S on the end, meaning more than one nations,
and served their graven images,
and they served JC, which is a graven image.
both their children and their children's children, as did their fathers, so do they unto this day.
They do to this day right now. Right now, this day. That's what it's saying. So yeah, I just wanted to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that a man can have more than one wife, or one concubine, or one girlfriend, but it's not mandatory. Don't get it twisted now. I ain't saying just go out there and marry you 4 or 5 different women, and then you have to be some understanding. You have to take care of them. You have to treat them nice, and just be a manable man with them. But I ain't telling nobody to go out there and get you 2 or 3 wives, cause the book say you can do it. But it's gonna be mandatory when we get back to the land of Israel. He's gonna give us 7, whether you like it or not. So that's what the book just said. So I'm going to give all honor and glory to praise to Yahweh by saying hallelujah, hallelujah, praise the mighty Yah. Shalom.